Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's me, Aaron Collins, and this is another edition of me addressing worldly issues in a godly way. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone is in their right mind. Hope everyone is staying safe. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, I was just reading an article about this new phenomenon called, it was a movement actually, not a phenomenon. It's called critical race theory. And critical race theory basically breaks down how race is looked at here in the United States and most recently Australia, the United Kingdom, and Canada. But since I'm based in the United States, I'm going to talk about how it relates here. It breaks down things such as culture, class, intersectionality, and how these things all correlate and relate to each other. It's a very interesting set of sayings and teachings based on the way things have been going on for the last few decades. You see, critical race theory points out how in today's society, how the mainstream white society has pretty much benefited and pretty much lived their life based on, well, really the color of their skin. It also points out the fact that white Americans are inherently racist and have a tendency to look at things in a non-colorblind way, whether it's intentionally or intentionally. And as I read it, I began to understand certain things that I've heard over the years, like when people say, like, "Well, I don't see color," which is actually really a passive-aggressive way of saying that unless you can see me, you have to omit my color, and for you to see me as a person. And when I heard it put that way, I thought to myself, yeah, okay. And I can see how it's an uncomfortable topic to talk about. But when you're living in the mainstream society, you benefit from certain things, and certain avenues have always upheld your position in society. Of course, it's going to be uncomfortable for you to talk about. When you come from marginalized communities such as I have, being from what's known as a group of people that are considered minorities, it's going to be hard for you to listen to what one of us has to say. But considering that white supremacy is based and steeped in the American DNA of how this country was founded, and racism still is a continuing factor, I think it's high time that we do talk about it. Some people have said that like critical race theory needs to be taught in schools. They're saying that it's teaching white children to be ashamed of being white. I don't necessarily think that's how deep it is, but it should teach that we should be taught that because of your skin color, the color of your skin, that you'll be able to advance further than other people would, particularly black people. Because black people, even though there's someone going to say something like, you need to pick yourself up by your own bootstraps and go out and get a job. While all that's fine and dandy and all that's true, anytime when black people in the past have done these things, the goalposts have always been moved. There's always been ways that you have basically manipulated society, manipulated the very fabric of way things operate and work to your benefit. So, bottom line, we can do all the above. We can start our own businesses. We can do things in our communities. We can do all of that. But there's always going to be some kind of infraction imposed upon us that's going to make it hard, therefore giving you the upper hand. So we live in a system of white supremacy, and so-called black inferiority. We live in that system. We always have been, and we still are. With police shootings on the rise constantly across our nations, we still have so many things. It's even evident in the legal system and the Justice Department that the sentences and punishments imposed upon crimes are not equal. It's not equal, and it's not the same. White offenders who have typically gotten the same punishments as, or committed the same crimes as black offenders, have typically gotten off with lesser sentences, even in some cases practical slaps on the wrist, whereas black offenders get the harshest sentences imposed upon them. They get the maximum sentence imposed by the law, as a matter of fact. Whereas the white offenders a lot of times are either given some kind of treatment or some kind of redemption and allowed to go back and function in society. So these are some of the things that critical race theory talks about. I'm not going to go into it now, but from what I did read, I'm not going to go into all of them, but from what I did read, I can pretty much break it down and translate it what it means to me. And from what I read about it, it's like some of the things that are going on that have happened that people are talking about now is what's been going on in the society as we know it. So yeah, I think it needs to be spoken of. I think it needs to be talked about from an objective point of view. It needs to be talked about in an educational form, and it also needs to be talked about and dealt with logically. Without it needs to be talked about in a mature fashion, because the one thing, as the Bible states, the truth will set us free. And that's been a hard time. That's been a thing that's been hard to deal with when it comes to talking about this particular topic, racism, that the truth has always been omitted. And when people are told about their role in society, particularly in white society, they've been told their role and how things were formed, it's always been hard for them to accept. So yeah, that's my little bitty analysis of critical race theory and how it operates. And as I continue to do more research on it, I may actually want to even have a topic and a conversation about it. So yeah. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Get in the comments. How do you feel about it? And have I broken it down enough? What is your overall opinion on it? Get in the comment section and share this video. Share this video with all your social medias, friends, family, and hit the bell icon to be notified when I drop more videos, and support the channel financially at paypal.com/TheRealAaronCollins, as well as patreon.com/TheRealAaronCollins. Guys, I come to you in love. I appreciate everything that you do for me. I appreciate my audience. I appreciate you all sticking with me all these years. And as we begin to mature and evolve, we should be able to talk to each other. Constructive criticism. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. So anyway, guys, you know what to do. You already know what I'm about to say. God loves you. I love you. Let's do life. See you in the next video. All right.